Hi everyone, this is Mazen Danaf, Principal Economist at Uber Freight and author of the Freight Economist reports. Today we're discussing two major developments in the freight market: weather conditions and tariffs. Winter Storm Fern tightened the market significantly in February, resulting in spot rate increases north of 25% compared to the same time of last year. Increases were observed across all major regions, with the exception of the West, which saw the mildest weather disruptions. However, it's important to note that weather was not the only factor tightening the freight market. We believe that if we had seen the same storm last year or 2 years ago, the freight market probably wouldn't have reacted this way. This is because a significant amount of capacity has left the freight market over the last 3 years. If we look at long-distance truckload employment, we saw a 56,000 reduction in employment between 2022 and 2025, amounting to 10% of total capacity. To put that into perspective, employment in this sector only fell by 4% at the onset of COVID. This means that we saw the sharpest capacity correction or contraction since the Great Financial Crisis, bringing employment in this sector to its lowest level since 2014. Moving to tariffs, the Supreme Court invalidated the administration's major trade measures, including Liberation Day reciprocal tariffs and other tariffs targeting Canada, Mexico, and China tied to past emergency declarations. Remaining active tariffs under Sections 232 and 301 primarily impact metals, vehicles, electrical equipment, and electronics. In response, the administration imposed a global additional tariff of 15%. This excludes goods under Section 232, USMCA-compliant products, and specific products such as critical minerals and pharmaceuticals. The removal of IEEPA tariffs lowers the average effective rate from 16% to 9.1%. This is still the highest effective tariff rate since 1946, according to the Yale Budget Lab. In addition, the 15% global tariff could indicate lower tariff rates for some countries and commodities and higher rates for others. As a result, imports from countries where the net decrease in tariff rates will increase, causing a temporary spike in import and freight demand as shippers benefit from this window, and vice versa. Finally, the likelihood of tariff dividends causing a significant spike in freight demand later in 2026 is now much lower. This is because tariff revenues are expected to be paid as refunds to importers and not directly to consumers. For more information on the freight market, tariffs, and supply and demand dynamics, check out the latest Freight Economist report.